Welcome, everybody, to Everyday Ethics. I am your host, Michael Liebowitz, with the lovely and very professional and impressive Persephone. And we've got some stuff to talk to you about today. We're going to continue our de-grifting sort of theme that we've been up to. I just would like to remind the audience that we do love the super stickers and the super chats, especially after the tax situation that I just went through. So, Persephone, you have a question that needs to be answered, I guess.
Yes. So we got a question from Akira, and Akira said, hold please. He says, the other day I left the comment about Charles and the manosphere. You made some interesting observations, but I wanted to know if you see the difference between the different pulls and if there is any merit. It's pure rationalization. So, I mean, the important question, I guess, is do you know what the different pulls are?
No.
You know what the red pull is?
Oh, the pills.
Yes, the
You sound like
pills.
you're saying pulls.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that I have a South African
I know that.
accent.
I know
Like,
that they're
we
from. I know that they're from the Matrix, and I think this whole thing where people talk like that. Let me tell you something.
terminally online, would you say?
No, but I'll tell you, I have always had a problem with. I just sent you something very interesting. Nicole Hingle, thank you very much for the $5 super sticker. Very much appreciated. Um, like I hate trendy shit. I always have. It's just an idiosyncrasy of mine. So when people start talking about the blue pill and the red, it's like just shut up. Especially because the people who think they've taken the right one, I think it's their red pilled is where you see everything like you're in the Matrix. They're usually dumb fucks. So they talk about I've been red pilled. No, you're just dumb. Like you just think that you're in the know now. I've been around this for so long. These people, like in prison, this stuff, it's so widespread. The conspiracy crap that they think they're so smart and they're not. So I don't like that way of communicating. Look, you either use reason, you either care about evidence, or you don't. Right? So the fact that you follow your favorite dummy, that grifter on line, and are buying into the bullshit that grifter is putting out there, whichever one it is, doesn't impress me.
So
I
there's
hope that
there's
answers the question. I know maybe I'm a little curmudgeonly right now, but eh,
only for the last month and a half or so. Anyway, so there's a couple, right? There's the red pull, which is the matrixy one, and then there's the one that is just truly go fuck yourself is the black
the
pull.
black pill makes you just see how horrible everything is.
Yeah, it's like nihilistic,
Yeah.
fatalistic, everything sucks. It's very, but like that sort of that terminology and that ideology is very tied into like deep misogyny as well. There's huge ties to like, well, realize that all women are garbage and they're like 80% of women are fucking 1% of dudes. So if I ever hear someone use that kind of terminology, I'm like, "Oh, so you're like a racist, misogynistic virgin." Seems rude, but generally.
I don't know how we got to the virgins, but whatever. I don't. Generally speaking, I don't. When people talk this way online, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that so basically there is no what was the question? Do you see any difference between the different polls? No, they're all various levels of idiocy. In my opinion, if you buy into any of that,
Well,
if
I
you
know
buy into
they
any,
mean different things, but I think that the people that use that, I think it's silly. I don't like it.
yeah, and I don't think that they're useful or real. And I think that if you buy into them, you're stupid.
Did you see what I just sent you, by the way?
Oh, right, that's what I was doing. See, my phone's on silent to stop the beeping, and
That's
therefore
good. That's good,
oh,
right? That's nice.
to not have the beeping, yeah, I'm sure.
No, I meant that what I just sent you.
Oh, yes, that's also very cool.
Persephone and I have been our viewership on the clips that we put out is up, so I just sent that to her. Okay, so can we talk about Dinesh D'Souza now?
Yes. Let's talk
All
about
right,
Dinesh D'Souza.
all
Talk
right.
about
So
the
there's
first thing first.
there was two things that that caught my eye from him just this morning. What I love is when the grifterverse start fighting each other. That goes on a lot. Like Alex Jones is involved, and Dave Smith is involved, and Dinesh and Tucker, and they all fight with each other, and it's so funny because they're all just a bunch of dishonest, either dishonest or dumb. I don't know which one. So
Why not both?
okay, maybe both. Can you give me Dinesh here, please?
Oh, you want the screenshots? Okay. Yes, I'll do that. I didn't realize I was supposed to do that. Hold, please. I know.
Not everybody here watches the Capitalist Corner, Akira, and we're going to delve a little bit deeper into this right now.
As soon as I can catch up
Akira
to
never actually told us if he's a he or not, either. Akira, are you a dude? I think so, but I'm not sure.
Yes, we don't want to misgender you, Akira.
Oh, don't ever use that language, please.
To be fair, I did it because I knew it was going to irritate you.
That's fair.
I mean, you do it to me all the time, so.
I do. No, it's okay. You know what annoys me too, though?
So many things.
When I don't have the screen thing here, so I can just bring it up. I want to go.
Just give me a second. Here. Take this.
All right, so breaking. Evidently, Donald Trump and Dinesh D'Souza is bragging about this. He says about Tucker Carlson. Tucker's a low IQ person that has absolutely no idea what's going on. He calls me all the time. I don't respond to his calls. I don't deal with him. I like dealing with smart people, not fools. Okay, so that conflicts with what Trump just said the other day, that he likes to deal with idiots. So we'll go with that. Or losers, he said. But beyond that, Tucker Carlson has been invited to the White House numerous times. Right? Now, I cannot help. Let me find out how many times. Has Tucker Carlson been to Trump's White House? It's quite a bit. So these two have, I'm talking about Trump and Carlson have, Akira doesn't want to tell us if he's a guy or a girl because he keeps posting stuff but won't answer this question.
I know, it's very rude.
Okay, so he's got at least 3 documented visits between January and February of this year, Tucker Carlson, to the White House. Now, Dinesh D'Souza has to know that, right? I can't imagine he doesn't know that. But nevertheless, he hates Tucker Carlson, and now Trump says this. So I want you to just think of this as a tripartite grift machine. Dinesh D'Souza, Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows he's had Tucker Carlson to the White House. He knows he's praised Tucker in the past. He also knows that Tucker got caught in emails and text messages saying he really doesn't like Trump. But he uses him when he's useful and casts him aside when he's not, as Tucker does to him. Right?
Yeah.
Dinesh D'Souza has to know that this is going on, but yet he'll promote it now that Trump says this. But why would he promote something that he obviously knows is bullshit? Is he doing it just to hurt Tucker Carlson? Is he doing it to push a narrative? I don't know. I do know that this is the same jerk who promoted the idea that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. He's put that out there. Now, again, when you see people doing this, red flags should go right up. I have you on Facebook. All right. Sorry, he's a guy. I'm glad you're a guy because that's what I assumed. Persephone cast doubt on the whole thing, guy. I apologize. I shouldn't have let Persephone sway me. Persephone thought there was a chance, so whatever.
My that's a lie. Everybody mark the date. Michael Liebowitz just lied live on air. So I never said that. It was Lee. It was Lee that said he might be a girl.
Did you not agree to that?
No, I did not.
You said no, it's a guy?
Yes.
When?
I've said Akira's a guy.
You didn't just say it in this discussion.
I mean, every time we've spoken about it, which, by the way, Akira has been a couple of times,
Okay.
I've said he's a guy.
She's probably right about this. I made the whole thing up. Either way, let's get on to the grifter that is Dinesh D'Souza, right?
Yeah.
So he's obviously putting stuff out there that is ridiculous. I mean, this isn't a false claim. Trump did actually say it, but there's implications behind it. That Trump dislikes Tucker Carlson, has always disliked Tucker Carlson. But he knows, and Tucker knows, that he's been at the White House. So, like, who are you trying to fool here?
Everybody else.
Right? It's got to be.
Yeah.
Because it's just BS. Mark Levin is in on he calls him Tucker Carlson. And Mark Levin has this, he's the guy who previously he supported Trump, then he didn't like Trump, then he supported Trump again. And it's all based on where the wind is blowing. It's all just bullshit.
Yes.
And now Donald Trump, by the way, is saying that people should be taking constitutional advice from Mark Levin. Donald Trump said that the other day. So Mark Levin calls Tucker Carlson, or he calls Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly, she's in on the thing. Everybody should have known what she was when she allowed Donald Trump to talk to her the way that he did, but then she kept supporting him. First, she went to, of course, tried to make it mainstream at NBC, couldn't cut it. So then she is back on the Trump train, and she's in the Grifterverse. So she calls Mark Levin Micro Mark, micro penis Mark. He calls her Grandma Groiper. There's this whole thing going on with these people where they go back and forth. They call Dave Wikipedia Dave. Dave Smith calls Tucker Carlson a hero. It's all just bullshit people trying to grift off of gullible people.
I'm just so tired from this.
Right? It's about bringing people into a given tribe so that you can make money off of them.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Which I refuse to do, and maybe that's why sometimes people get upset. You're being, the guy said earlier I was being hostile to the audience. I'm not here to kiss anybody's ass. I sure as hell ain't here to carry water for anybody. I'm going to tell the truth as I see it, and that's all there is to it. Right? That's that. That's the way I feel about it. So now we had... Go ahead, Persephone.
Sorry, I just want to read off the comment. Like Greg said, just chasing clicks. They don't have any actual beliefs.
No, they don't. And what kills me about it isn't that they're so scummy to behave like that. I mean, look, Dave Smith runs around the internet telling everybody that won't debate him that they're a coward. But meanwhile, he won't debate me. I don't think he's scared to debate me. I think that I don't have the audience that he's looking for a debate. And I think he realizes it would be ridiculous for him to get beat by me. But I don't think he's scared of it. But the idea that he then calls other people scared because they won't debate him, it's like, dude, come on.
No one is going to fact check whether he's ever been too scared to debate someone. His audience is just going to go, wow, he's so brave for calling these people out.
No, but they know it. That's the thing. They know how that they will say to me, oh, why would he debate you? You're a nobody. Blah, 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 blah. Why are you trying to debate Dave? This is ridiculous. But when he does it, they're like, Dave, yes, your penis is huge. We love you. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, I can never in my life, and I'm going to be serious I mean, I'm always serious, not always, but I'm being serious here. I could never in my life imagine carrying water for another man the way that the fans of Dave Smith do for him, the way the grifters do for each other, the way most of them do for Trump. Like, I am not doing that ever in my life. Like, I couldn't live with myself. If I found myself just defending somebody, no matter what they did, and like I'm online looking for somebody to criticize my favorite influencer so I can dogpile the person, like, look at you, you're attacking my guy's so great. Oh my, it's like, you're fucking pathetic. Get some self-esteem. Like, why are you doing this? This guy doesn't care about you. He's not going to defend you. And meanwhile, you're kissing his ass for what? Hoping that he'll retweet you or something? Like, get out of here. But anyways, the point is this, right? You have, this is the dynamic. These people kiss each other's asses, but they attack each other, depending on the group. So now can we get to the other thing that Dinesh D'Souza put out there today?
It's in the thing.
Okay. So Donald Trump posted this. A whole civilization will die tonight. He's referring to Iran. And he says, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. And he goes on, God bless the Iranian people, whatever. So I just want you to understand what this means. So Trump says he doesn't want this to happen, to destroy the Iranian civilization, right? So some of the things that make up the Iranian civilization right now is the ancient Choga Zanbil, built around 1250 BC, one of the world's best preserved ziggurats. Susa, first settled in the 5th millennium BC, something, I don't know. Engineering marvels, the Persian Qanat system. Prehistoric sites of the Karamabad Valley. I mean, there's all types of stuff. There's so much here. The Bisitone features enormous rock sculpture and inscriptions of Old Persian, Elamite, and Babylonian depicting Darius the First triumph over rebellious tribes. The point is, there is a lot of things in Iran. Mind you, what I'm talking about now is not the appropriateness of Trump's comment, not about the desirability of doing what Trump is threatening. I'm not getting into that at all. But Dinesh D'Souza says this, a little frightening, but also exhilarating. First of all, you're exhilarated by this. I think that there's something wrong with somebody like that. Yeah. You may think it's necessary, but exhilarating? But then he says it's important to recognize the people of Iran, cowering under the tyranny of their mullahs for half a century, support this. Really. Mind you, let's be crystal clear what Trump is talking about here. Now, Dinesh says it's not the civilization of ancient Persia that's being imperiled here. That's this Dinesh saying that. But that's not what Trump said. So does anybody really think that the Iranian people, when Trump promised them help was on the way, anticipated that they were going to have their civilization destroyed? Not the Iranian regime, not the collateral damage that would be necessary, right, to take that regime out, but their actual civilization being destroyed. And put this in context. Trump has been saying he's going to hit civilian infrastructure, power plants, all that stuff. No, Dinesh says it's not going to be the Persian civilization because the bombs are just so smart that when you start trying to obliterate a civilization, that you're going to differentiate between the landmarks that are there, the architecture, the great stuff that's part of Persia. You're going to differentiate between that, and you're going to take out the Persian Empire. I mean, the Iranians, but not the Persian stuff. Really? The Iranian people want that, Dinesh. Now, here's the thing. This is what's interests me. One guy came on my Facebook page and he said, "Well, if he's talking about something else, if he's talking about the Iranian regime specifically, in other words, he read all types of things into Trump's statement that is not there, in order to make sense of it in his own head." And a few people come on and say you can't take Trump literally; you have to take him seriously. Now, mind you, whenever somebody says this to me about not taking something literally, it usually refers to the Bible. What follows next is them reading into it whatever they prefer. So it's not as if all the people who say don't take Trump literally agree on the metaphorical meaning of what he's saying.
No.
Right? But it allows them to read what they want. I remember how ridiculous it was when Barack Obama, although I thought he was right, said I have become a Rorschach test where people ascribe to me whatever they want and then they support him. He didn't throw in the support thing, but I think it was implied. And it's similar here. And that is what happens when you start buying into this bullshit. Whether the grifter is Dinesh D'Souza, Dave Smith, Donald Trump, whomever, whenever you start defending a person or a policy rather than principles, here's where you end up saying, no, that's not what it means. It must mean this, which is whatever the person wants it to mean. And I highly recommend, as for everyday ethics, that the people watching this show do not play that game with your consciousness. Do not do that. Identify facts, judge them, assess them based on reason. Do not start defending grifters. And a sure way to recognize a grifter is when they're contradicting themselves, contradicting each other, or contradicting plain common sense. If anybody out there really thinks that the Iranian people are welcoming the destruction of their civilization, there's nothing I can ever say to help.
So Akira says, I'm glad I never supported this war, so I don't have to be ashamed of this stuff. The people who supported the war, I don't think that they feel shame even now.
Well, so I do not want to demonize everybody that supports the war. That's not what I want to do. I really don't, because there are reasonable people that I think are just wrong about supporting the war, and that's different than what you're doing. But once you go down the road to justifying all this nonsense, like I told you guys earlier, and I don't know if everybody here was watching it, so I'll say it again. I asked the question, does anybody think that the Iranian people really want their civilization destroyed, per Dinesh D'Souza? One guy comes on and said, when are Trump's critics going to take him seriously and not literally? Even though my question wasn't a critique of Trump, it was a critique of Dinesh D'Souza. Right? I could have just posted Trump's comment alone. I didn't. I posted Dinesh's with the question, and Dinesh was the one that made the claim. But they're so used to arguing a certain way, right? So that's the fill-in comment. You're criticizing Trump. No, I'm not. Somebody else comes in and says, oh, was it okay to destroy Berlin in World War II? The question had nothing to do with whether the policy is okay. It has to do with Dinesh's comment about whether the Iranian people welcome it. But when your mindset is, I must defend this person or I must defend this policy, and so you just come in with your ready-made attacks. By the way, that same person, I didn't tell him about it, but I saw prior to commenting on my post, that was his Facebook post. That all the people who were so upset about Trump's comment, were you upset about this? But I didn't say I was upset about Trump's comment, but that's his go-to. Don't have a go-to. Don't just defend people. Don't just defend policies. I can support a policy and recognize when someone makes a bad argument for it. It's not a difficult thing to do if you're just intellectually honest. Persephone. Thank you, Nicole, for your comment, by the way. Go ahead, Nicole. Not Nicole. Go ahead, Persephone.
I just don't really have anything to add to that.
You said to
Yeah,
me earlier that, what did you say here? Let me find it. I thought it was interesting because I feel this way at times.
I have no idea what I said.
I know, but I'm going to find it. Just chill. Or maybe I'm not going to find it. You said that, let me see. You said people are too much for you. Some such thing as that. You were exhausted with people.
Oh, yeah, that's a permanent state of being.
Okay, so now that we've complained about the grifters and talked about what they do and how they're liars and how they're idiots and how they have followers, I'm going to say something a little optimistic. We do not have to give up on people. Most people, I do not think, are like that, at least not all the time. And it's up to us to talk about these subjects, to talk about reason, to talk about ethics, and to make good arguments. A lot of people won't listen, some will. And that's what we have to be optimistic about. That we live in a world that is conducive to our well being. It really is. Even in the United States, as screwed up as it is, with our screwed up president and our screwed up social media, we can still achieve our goals. So we need to make these arguments. Kira Felix says, I'm too nice. He cannot buy the idea that objectivists didn't know better. I think that your statement gives itself away. The point is that they think that this is better. That's the problem as I see it. I don't think that I think that they recognize certain things like Donald Trump's a problem, the Constitution. They'll put that aside. I just think they have been. I think that they are convinced that going to war with Iran is so important that it rivals all that, and we've seen it. And I don't want to make this too much of a political show, but along a lot of the time, opposition to Iran has really built itself up over years to where that's a very important issue to them. But the show may seem today, that it's about politics, but it's really not. What it's about is assessing the information that comes to us, not being duped, using reason, and making the right choices. That's really what we are talking about here. Right, Persephone?
Yes. On a slightly, we've got like 2 minutes left. On a slightly similar sort of topic, can I tell a slightly funny story?
Depends.
Okay, so on TikTok, there's this
Better be funny.
huge, there's this huge, there's this huge community of like obviously flat earthers and space deniers and whatever, whatever. And along with this huge community of people who post these flat earth, the reason there's more of them right now is obviously because Artemis 2 is like the astronauts are the furthest people away from Earth that they've ever been because they orbited around the back of the moon instead of just landing on it. Anyway, so there's been this influx of like space is fake, the moon isn't real, Earth is flat videos. And along with that, there's a huge crowd of people who are fact checking. They're taking these videos and they're playing them and they're fact checking and they're explaining to the people who don't understand why this is very obviously grift and bullshit. So that's great. But someone posted a video and they said, if NASA is lying about the moon, if this is all one big conspiracy, why would this be fake? Why would this be why would the government and NASA and like the entire world be lying about that? And no one has any answer. They just say, well, you should educate yourself, right? So she's talking about the fact that none of these flat earthers or space deniers can point out why it's funny that, you know, why the government would be lying about this. And I just thought that was really funny. And one of the people said that the reason I agree. Why would Russia help the United States lie about space?
They
So
wouldn't.
one of the people said the reason the government is lying is because they don't want people to believe in the Bible. And it was just so funny because everybody started pointing out like the United States government, the one who's posting all the religious messages, they don't want people to believe in the Bible. That's a very interesting, like, logical leap you're making there, because how does that make any sense? And then they just locked up completely. It's like the second you challenge them, they've got no answer. They just fall back on it must be a lie. But why?
Talking points, right?
Yes. So funny.
Lord have mercy. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. Tomorrow we will be back at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then at 3:15 we will be doing crime, corrections, and culture. So, thanks everybody, and until tomorrow, please be ethical.